You only have 2 minutes. Eat as much as you want. After that, you won't get anything to eat for the rest of the day. This is a prison where 2 people are kept on each floor. Every floor has a number. The lower the number, the higher the floor. A food platform starts at the top floor and moves down through all the levels, stopping on each floor for 2 minutes. The people on the upper floors get to eat first, but as the food moves lower and lower, the people below don't even get a chance to smell the dishes. Driven mad by hunger, people become willing to do things you can't even imagine. At the beginning of the story, we see a man named Goreng. When he wakes up, he finds himself on the 48th floor. Sitting across from him is an old man named Trimagasi. Goreng asks him what this place is. Trimagasi tells him that food will come down through the center. Whatever the people above leave behind is what they get to eat. Then the leftovers continue down to the floors below. Trimagasi explains that he has been here for several months. Everyone spends 1 month on a floor. After that, they are randomly assigned to another floor. No one knows whether the next floor will be higher or lower. Just then, the food platform arrives. The moment Trimagasi sees it, he starts devouring the food like a madman, as if he were a food blogger tasting every dish in sight. Goreng says that all of it is leftover food that other people have already touched. Trimagasi agrees, but says it's still food. Goreng refuses to eat anything, but he takes an apple from the platform and keeps it for later. As soon as the platform starts moving down again, Trimagasi spits on it. Goreng asks him what he's doing. What if everyone on the upper floors does the same thing? Trimagasi says that's exactly what everyone does here. A moment later, Goreng notices that the temperature in the room is rising rapidly. Trimagasi tells him it's happening because of the apple he kept. Any food belongs to them only while the platform is on their floor. Once it leaves, they are not allowed to keep anything. If Goreng doesn't throw the apple away immediately, the temperature will keep rising until they die. Goreng quickly tosses the apple down the shaft, and instantly the temperature returns to normal. A little later, we are shown a scene from before Goreng arrived here. During an interview, he is told that he is entering this place voluntarily. Once inside, he won't be allowed to leave for 6 months. Back in the present, Goreng tells Trimagasi that he came here to quit his smoking addiction. He also wanted time to read his book, and he would receive a degree when he got out. The mention of a degree completely surprises Trimagasi. He says that in that case, he should have earned 2 degrees by now because he has been here for an entire year. Everyone who enters this place is allowed to bring 1 personal item with them. It can be anything they want. Goreng brought a book. As for what Trimagasi brought, we still don't know. Goreng then asks him how he ended up here. Trimagasi explains that he once saw an advertisement on television for a knife that could cut through anything with incredible ease. Impressed by it, he immediately bought the knife. But the very next day, he saw another commercial for an even better knife. That drove him crazy. In a fit of rage, he threw his television out of the window. But the television landed on a boy who was walking below. The impact killed him instantly. After that, I had 2 choices. I could either go to a psychiatric hospital or come here, so I chose this place. Goreng then asks how many floors there are. Trimagasi says he doesn't know. The last time he was on the 132nd floor, where not even a single crumb of food reached. Goreng asks how he managed to stay alive there, but Trimagasi avoids giving him a clear answer. Later, Goreng starts shouting to the people on the floors above and below. He tries to explain that if everyone only ate what they needed, there would be enough food for everyone. The people below yell back, telling them to save some leftovers for them next time. In response, Trimagasi urinates down the shaft and tells them, "Here's your leftovers." Then he tells Goreng that people on the lower floors don't deserve that much respect. Goreng argues that next month those same people might end up on the upper floors. Trimagasi replies that when that happens, they'll treat others exactly the same way. That's just how things work here. A little later, Goreng asks him what item he brought with him. Goreng brought a book, so what did Trimagasi bring? Trimagasi shows him a knife. For a moment, Goreng is completely stunned. When the platform arrives again, Goreng finally eats a little food as well. The next day, while he is reading his book, a man suddenly falls from above. Blood splashes across Goreng's face. Shocked, he asks Trimagasi what just happened. Trimagasi tells him not to think too much about it. People often jump down the shaft and kill themselves. Hearing this makes Goreng even more suspicious of him. Little by little, Trimagasi starts seeming more and more like a psychopath. Goreng asks which floors he has been on before. Trimagasi tells him about many different levels. The lowest one was the 132nd floor. Goreng asks him another question. If no food reached that floor, how did he survive there for an entire month? And since there are always 2 people on every floor, what happened to the person who was with him? Goreng says he's certain that Trimagasi killed the man with his knife and ate him. Before Trimagasi can answer, the food platform arrives. But this time, it isn't carrying only food. A woman is sitting on it. Trimagasi says her name is Miharu. Every month, she rides the platform down through the prison searching for her son. According to the stories, she kills whoever is assigned to her floor each month, hoping that one day she'll be placed with her son instead. It's possible that she was the one who killed the man they saw falling earlier. When Goreng looks at Miharu, he sees a deep pain in her eyes. He wants to help her, but there's nothing he can do. The platform continues downward. A group of men on a lower floor starts trying to force themselves on Miharu. Seeing this, Goreng begins shouting at them. He's even ready to jump down and help her. But then he sees something unexpected. Miharu has already taken care of them herself. She brutally kills every one of them. Goreng is stunned by what he sees. As time passes, the days slowly go by. Eventually, Goreng learns how to to live in this environment. He begins to understand the rules of the prison and how people survive in a place like this. That night, while they were trying to sleep, Trimagasi told Goreng that it was their last day on this floor. He explained that a gas would soon be released into the room, knocking them unconscious. When they woke up, they would be on a different floor. He told Goreng to pray that they wouldn't end up too far down. Later, when Goreng opened his eyes, he found himself tied up. Trimagasi had tied him down. They were now on the 171st floor. Trimagasi told Goreng that on a floor like this, hunger drives people insane. That's why there is only one rule here: either become food or make someone else into food. He tells Goreng not to worry. He isn't going to kill him all at once because meat spoils too quickly that way. Instead, he plans to cut small pieces off him over time. That way, both of them can eat Goreng's flesh and stay alive. Besides, he says he won't even touch him for a week. He can survive 7 days without eating. At that moment, Goreng realizes that the old man truly is a psychopath. Just then, the food platform arrives. When Trimagasi checks it, there isn't a single bite of food left. He points at the empty platform and tells Goreng that this is exactly how hard it is to survive down here. That's why he made sure to secure his food supply in advance. Time slowly passes. Goreng desperately screams and begs to be released, but Trimagasi ignores every word. Eventually, 7 days pass. The day Trimagasi has been waiting for finally arrives. He walks over to Goreng with his knife and slices into his leg. Then he cuts out a piece of flesh. But at that exact moment, Miharu appears. When she sees Goreng tied up in such terrible condition, she immediately attacks Trimagasi and stabs him with her knife. After that, she frees Goreng. The moment Goreng is released, he rushes toward Trimagasi. Consumed by rage, he repeatedly stabs him until the old man is dead. Later, when Goreng wakes up, he sees Miharu cutting pieces from Trimagasi's body and eating them. She even brings some of the meat to Goreng. After struggling with himself, Goreng finally forces himself to eat it. He then asks Miharu what her son's name is, but without saying a word, she steps back onto the platform and continues her journey downward. After that, Goreng spends his days alone. Driven by constant hunger, he eventually starts eating Trimagasi's decaying flesh, and somehow he survives. 1 month passes. The next morning, when Goreng wakes up, he finds himself on the 33rd floor. This time, he has a new cellmate, a woman named Imogiri. She has also brought her pet dog with her. As Goreng talks to her, he realizes something surprising. She is the same woman who interviewed him before he entered the prison. Goreng asks why she willingly came to such a hellish place. Imogiri explains that she came by choice. She wanted to experience what life inside this place was really like. Soon, the food platform arrives. For the first time in an entire month, Goreng gets to enjoy a proper meal. While eating, he tells Imogiri that bringing a pet dog here is selfish. The dog will eat food that could have saved a hungry child. Imogiri responds by saying that no one under the age of 16 is allowed inside this prison. Imogiri says the administration would never allow something like that to happen. After that, she prepares 2 plates of food. When the platform starts moving down, she tells the people below to eat the plates she prepared and then send 2 new plates down for the next level. If every floor did the same thing, food would reach even the last level and nobody would die from hunger. But the people below refuse to listen. They say they're going to eat as much as they want. Day after day, Imogiri keeps preparing plates and sending them down. She repeatedly asks everyone to eat only their share. Still, nobody listens. 15 days pass like this. Finally, Goreng loses his patience. He shouts down to the people below and tells them that if they don't cooperate, he'll start sending the platform down covered in his own waste every day. Then they can eat that instead. Surprisingly, his threat works. The people below finally agree. The next day, when the platform arrives, Miharu is lying on it, badly injured. Goreng quickly helps her off the platform, but suddenly the room starts getting colder and colder. Goreng notices that Imogiri's dog has taken something from the platform. Realizing the problem, he immediately throws the item back down the shaft. As soon as he does, the temperature returns to normal. That night, Goreng struggles to sleep. When he finally falls asleep, he is awakened by the sound of fighting. Miharu and Imogiri are attacking each other. The reason is simple. Driven by hunger, Miharu killed and ate Imogiri's dog. The next day, Miharu continues her journey downward on the platform. Imogiri is devastated by the loss of her dog. She tells Goreng that she personally interviewed Miharu 10 months earlier. Miharu had no parents and no children. She only wanted to become an actress. She believed she was destined to be a famous star, and according to the records, she never had a child at all. Imogiri then admits something else. For the last 8 years, she has been sending people into this hell, but she never truly understood what this place was like. She tells Goreng that she has been fighting cancer for the past 3 years. Now that she has very little time left, she chose to come here herself. That day is their last day on the floor. The next morning, Goreng wakes up and discovers that he is now on the 202nd floor. Then he notices something horrifying. Imogiri has hanged herself. Goreng is completely stunned. Soon, he begins experiencing hallucinations. In one of them, Imogiri speaks to him. She tells him that she killed herself because people inevitably die from hunger down here. She wants him to eat her flesh and survive. Goreng starts losing his grip on reality. He doesn't know what to do. Days pass while he remains trapped in shock. Whenever hunger strikes, there is nothing to eat. In desperation, he starts tearing pages from his book and chewing on them. Day after day, he grows weaker. 3 weeks later, the hunger becomes unbearable. If he doesn't eat something soon, he will die. Finally, with no other choice, he gives in. He approaches Imaguiri's body, cuts pieces from it, and begins eating her flesh. A few days later, the monthly reassignment happens again. This time, Goreng wakes up on the 6th floor, and his new cellmate is a black man named Baharat. He wanted to reach the upper floors and find a way out of this place. At one point, he tried climbing to the floor above using a rope, but the people above humiliated him by dumping waste on his face. As a result, he fell back down. Baharat was deeply depressed because he could see no escape from this hell. That night, Goreng shares an idea with him. He says that if they can get food all the way to the last floor, the entire system will break. As far as he knows, food has never reached the very bottom. Goreng explains his plan. They will ride the platform down through the prison. They will make sure everyone gets only their fair share of food and save enough to deliver a portion to the very last floor. Then, when the platform goes back up, they can ride it to the top, just as Baharat has always wanted. Baharat points out that they don't even know how many floors there are. Goreng replies that when he was on the 202nd floor, he paid attention to how long the platform stopped at each level. Based on that timing, he estimates that there are around 250 floors in total. Both men know one thing for certain. Staying here is no different from waiting for death. Because of that, Baharat agrees to the plan. The two men break apart pieces of their beds and turn them into weapons. Then they climb onto the platform and begin their journey downward. On the first few floors, Baharat calmly explains the situation to the inmates. He tells them there is no need to panic because everyone will receive their share of food. But Goreng disagrees. He says they shouldn't give food to these upper floors at all. These people get good meals every day. If they want food to survive all the way down, they need to start rationing from the 51st floor. The people on those floors don't like that idea. They argue that this is the first time they've had access to decent food in a long time. Why should they be punished? One man says that the last time he was on the 241st floor. Where were Goreng and Baharat then? Goreng tells them that they need to understand the bigger picture. The system itself has to change. But an old man steps forward and tries to take the food anyway. Baharat attacks him and knocks him down the shaft. After that, they continue moving from floor to floor, threatening people and forcing them away from the food. On one of the lower levels, Baharat encounters his spiritual mentor. The old man asks what they are doing. He tells them not to waste food. Baharat explains that they are trying to carry food all the way to the lower floors. His mentor says the goal is good, but their method is wrong. First, they should try to persuade people peacefully. If that doesn't work, then they can use force. Most importantly, they must send a message to the administration, something powerful enough to change the entire system. He tells them to find the finest dish on the platform. If they can send that untouched dish back to the people at the top, it will shake the entire system. The administration will wonder how their best dish managed to survive untouched through so many levels. That untouched dish will become their message. Goreng and Baharat understand exactly what he means, so they choose a special dish from the platform and continue downward. On the next floors, Baharat keeps trying to reason with people, but when a young woman refuses to cooperate, Goreng attacks her. Floor after floor, they continue their mission. Anyone who refuses to listen is forced aside. Once they reach the 51st floor, they begin distributing food fairly. They carefully give everyone only the amount they need. As they continue downward, however, the situation becomes increasingly grim. On many of the lower floors, they find nothing but dead bodies. They continue moving downward, passing the 100th floor and going even deeper. On one floor, Goreng sees two men holding Miharu. Before he can react, they stab her with a knife and kill her. Enraged, Goreng attacks one of the men, while Baharat fights the other. During the fight, the second man slashes Baharat across the stomach with a sword, seriously wounding him. At the same time, the other man nearly strangles Goreng to death. But before he can finish him off, Baharat grabs the swordsman's weapon and kills him with it. Then he kills the other man as well. Goreng is devastated by Miharu's death, but Baharat helps him recover and urges him to keep moving. The two men continue traveling downward until they reach the 250th floor, but the platform still doesn't stop. Eventually, they reach the 333rd floor. This time, the platform finally comes to a halt. They assume that this must be the last floor. Then Goreng notices someone in the darkness. As the two men step off the platform to investigate, the platform suddenly descends even farther. Fortunately, Baharat is still carrying the special dish. A moment later, they discover a young girl. Goreng believes she might be Miharu's daughter. Surprisingly, she appears healthy and unharmed. Then they notice something strange. Even after taking food from the platform, the room doesn't become hot or cold. None of the prison's rules seem to apply here. Believing the girl is hungry, they give her the special dish and let her eat it. That night, while they rest, Baharat tells Goreng that the girl herself is the message. He points out that despite being trapped in such a terrible place, she has somehow survived. A little later, Goreng wakes up. When he does, he realizes that Baharat is dead. He has bled to death from his injuries. Goreng is heartbroken by the loss. The next day, he takes the girl onto the platform and continues downward. At the very bottom, he discovers the end of the pit. There is nowhere left to go. At that moment, Trimagasi appears before him as a hallucination. He tells Goreng that he finally succeeded in bringing the message all the way down, but the girl must go up alone. Goreng cannot go with her. She is the message. Only by sending her alone can the mission truly succeed. A short time later, the platform begins rising rapidly toward the top, carrying the girl with it, and that is something that will surely shock the administration. With that scene, the movie comes to an end. The story contains many deep messages about society. It shows how people at the top often fail to value the people below them and can treat them however they want. Meanwhile, those at the bottom have little power to fight back. And if you look closely, there are many other meanings hidden throughout the story as well.